Again, few showers pushing off into southern Middle Tennessee. If you're just now tuning in, I think my mic was on mute. So sorry about that. But hey, we're back in business. Good Friday evening to everyone. I hope everyone is relaxing. We did have some severe weather the past couple of days. We just recently got survey results for that tornado that went through portions of Lauderdale County. That was rated an EF1, maximum sustained wind speeds 105 miles per hour. And that tornado traveled 16 miles. So that's quite a distance. We're not going to be seeing that throughout the rest of the night. It's basically because the boundary has pushed, or should I say, retreated farther back to the west. So storms are going to be firing right along this boundary. Near and north, basically, of where this boundary is. And the air south of it is the most unstable air. So we're going to be well removed from the storms throughout the rest of the evening, but that boundary finally will start to push back south and east into North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee, as we had throughout the day on Saturday, and that's what's going to be the trigger or the forcing mechanisms for numerous showers and storms, some of which that could be strong to severe. Several confirmed tornadoes continuing out to our west, across portions of eastern Texas, back into Arkansas, all the way into the Ohio Valley there. There are several tornado watches in effect. This covers portions of the Memphis area back into Little Rock, just east of the Dallas metro. And this is really the last thing that they need. This has been a multi-day severe weather event. And also alongside the severe weather, there is drastic flooding going on. And we are expecting flooding in our area. We're going to watch the flooding concern very closely, just because the progression of this system is going to be so slow. It's going to remind you of Sunday into Monday, where it felt like the storms would never get here. So current temperatures, very mild, mainly dry out there. Upper 70s, a lower 80s, and you have to think it's 9:30 at night. Not saying we haven't seen temperatures this warm before during the spring, but it is feeling like a summer evening. It's very muggy too. Dew points well into the 60s. Some places even in Middle Tennessee near 70 degrees there. Dew points will stay quite elevated overnight and through the day on Saturday. And not only the forcing mechanism, but the warmth and the moisture that we have available will help to fuel some strong to severe storms as this line initially moves through. But again, it's going to transition from a severe weather event to a flooding threat more than likely as we head into Sunday morning. So winds breezy, and they will stay quite elevated out of the south as we head overnight and through daybreak on Saturday. Not much activity going to be happening overnight. Temperatures very mild, upper 60s, lower 70s, with mostly cloudy skies. And then that severe threat is going to materialize by the time we head into Saturday evening. The highest risk is going to set up along and west of I-65. People in Northwest Alabama, I know, trust me. I'm just as tired of this as you are probably. That's not to say that people in Northeast Alabama will not be dealing with a severe weather threat, but we do expect this line of storms to weaken as it moves to the east. All modes of severe weather remain possible, large hail, damaging winds. We will closely watch for any rotation. Brief spin-up tornadoes will be possible, but the primary threat, and this is just what I'm seeing, is more than likely going to be damaging straight line wind gusts and flooding. And this is something to note as well. If my clicker will go to the next graphic. There we go. The pressure gradient wind gusts are going to be quite high before the storms even arrive. So we could see a wind advisory throughout the day on Saturday if the National Weather Service chooses to issue one. And with some of these winds picking up as high as 30, even close to 40 miles per hour through the afternoon, there very well could be downed trees and or power outages before the storms even reach your area. So I think it's very important that you have all of your devices charged. And again, more than one way to receive weather alerts, because this is going to be an overnight event. It's not a significant threat, but it's one that definitely needs to be watched. And you need to stay on guard and be ready to take action if a warning is issued for your area. So make sure you charge your devices well ahead of time. If you do have a NOAA weather radio, make sure your county or counties are programmed properly. If you need any last-minute assistance, we are here to help with that. Your 48 First Alert Weather Team can walk you through it over a phone call. You can email us. If you want to drop by the station early on in the day, we are more than happy to get you ready to go so you feel adequately prepared. But yes, these are going to be non-thunderstorm related wind gusts that will be picking up through the afternoon, could be as high as 35, even 40 miles per hour. Ahead of that strong cold front that will be moving through. And the timing, that is something that at this moment we do have fairly low confidence in. Not all models are in agreement necessarily with the speed of the cold front. Now, this is our graph model in-house that we use, and I happen to think that it is far too early. It's several hours in advance to when I think the storms will be moving through, which is likely going to be closer to midnight. So overnight Saturday and early on Sunday. But I'm just showing you this because, granted, stranger things have happened, and storms very well could move in as early as the late afternoon on Saturday for areas in northwest Alabama. And we will continue to refine and fine-tune this timing as we head throughout the next 12 hours. So the line of storms will be pushing in initially across northwest Alabama and weaken as they track to the east. And this is going to be quite a messy setup, but linear in nature. So we're not expecting supercells within this line. Anything that we track that would be tornadic more than likely is going to be your brief spin up EF0, EF1 type storms. And something that I'm noticing is that the majority of our model guidance keeps trending later and later, which is showing a very slow progression of this line, which will increase the flooding threat more than likely as we head late Saturday and early on Sunday. There is a slower progression, especially on the northern end of the line as it loses forward momentum. And then the southern end will push in shortly thereafter. Again, all modes of severe weather on the table here. Damaging wind gusts and flooding look to be the highest. We'll still monitor closely for isolated brief spin-up tornadoes and large hail, but I think those are on the low end of your threat categories. So here's the latest storm timeline we've come up with. And again, this is subject to change, so just please pay close attention to updates as we head overnight and through the day on Saturday. Meteorologist Jeff DeNoyer will have another update for you come Saturday morning. I will be in here during the early afternoon. And feel free, send us questions, comments, concerns. That's why we're here to answer them. So areas in the red, 10 o'clock in the evening Saturday to 3 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, and areas in yellow, 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the morning. And here's just a look at some of the rainfall totals. And these have actually increased just from earlier this evening whenever I finished the 6 o'clock show, which continues to align with the current thinking here. Flooding going to become a concern, especially through Sunday morning. Places in northwest Alabama, look at that. Russellville back into Florence, Moulton, you very well could pick up 4 inches of rainfall, if not higher totals. And think of where you live. If you do live in a more flood-prone area, this is something to keep in mind. You never want to drive through flooded roadways. And especially with this being an overnight event, when the sun goes down, it makes it a lot harder to see. So I would not be traveling or commuting during this time frame as well. Note, rain will continue through Sunday afternoon, well after the severe weather threat ends, and this will exacerbate the flooding concerns that we have. But rain should eventually push out as we head into Sunday evening. Once the rain ends, much cooler air going to rush in behind this front, and it means business. Temperatures going from near 90 degrees today and also tomorrow all the way back into the 50s. Your afternoon highs on Monday only going to reach upper 50s, lower 60s. Now granted, it will be pleasant, spring-like. Maybe you're ready for summertime and these temperatures were basically a tease. Unfortunately, spring, good spring weather in the forecast next week. Monday will be our coolest day with overnight lows plummeting into the middle and upper 30s. For any gardeners out there, our best chance for a frost now looking likely Wednesday morning. That's when we'll have clear skies and temperatures could very well dip into the lower and middle 30s. So again, this is going to be Wednesday morning, our most probable time for a late season frost. We will gradually warm back up through the end of the week though, lower and middle 70s on both Thursday and Friday, and before you know it, back near 80 degrees. And it looks like a nice rain-free stretch through next week. We didn't have a high chance for storms the past couple of days, but again, it only takes one. That's what I always say, and yesterday we did get that one tornado that was rated an EF1 there in Lauderdale County. Maximum sustained wind speeds 105 miles per hour, and was on the ground for 16 miles. It's fairly long. We are not expecting any long track or strong tornadoes as we head throughout the late evening hours Saturday and early on Sunday, but we'll have to watch closely for any brief spin-ups within that line. The more likely threat going to be damaging straight line winds, flooding, and then sunshine returns, but yes, dropping back several degrees into the 50s, overnight lows in the 30s, frost possible Wednesday morning, and then a nice warming trend. We'll get back to normal toward the end of the week with very little to no rain in the forecast. We will have more details for you coming up on our 10 o'clock newscast. Please join us there. We always love to see you. For now, be safe and just please pay close attention to updates as the timeline especially could be subject to change overnight and through the day on Saturday, but I promise any changes that we make, we are going to communicate those to you as soon as we can, so you have the most latest and updated information. Again, thanks so much for tuning in this evening. Have a nice night and keep an eye on the weather as we head into the upcoming weekend.